You felt the trembling under your feet, but it wasn't fear. It was the groaning of destiny calling your name. The ground has been shifting not to unseat you, but to reveal where you've been standing all along. Sacred soil. You've asked what's next, but heaven has answered with silence, not as neglect but as preparation. In this stillness, something ancient has been awakening in you. It's not confusion you've been feeling. It's a holy disorientation, the kind that comes before divine alignment. The doors that closed were not rejection. They were redirections sealed by God's hand. You are not behind, you are not late. You are exactly where eternity planted you. The fog you've walked through wasn't meant to blind you, but to build a trust that walks without sight. You've been trained in the shadows to recognize light, not the world's light, but the flicker of glory within your own spirit. You've been misunderstood, overlooked, even mocked. But that was part of the disguise. You are a divine secret, revealed only when the time is right, and the time is now. The shaking that you feared was actually the unveiling of your authority. Heaven has watched you hold your breath in the unknown, but now it commands you to inhale destiny. Your preparation did not begin with action, it began with surrender. You've laid on the floor in prayer, and now you will stand on the mountain in purpose. The wilderness didn't break you, it carved you. Like a river cuts through stone, what tried to contain you has become the path through which glory flows. The unknown has never been a threat, it has always been your sanctuary. God hides his greatest works in the unseen, and you, chosen one, have been hidden for glory. You were never meant to fit in with certainty. You were born to stand in mystery. The questions you carry are seeds. Watch what grows when you stop needing all the answers. Your identity is not in what you've lost, but in what you've endured. Every delay has been a divine buffer zone. He's been keeping you from lesser things. That ache you carry is not emptiness. It is the echo of unspoken assignments awakening. You were not created to play it safe. You were born with fire in your bones. And now the fire is not just for burning, it's for leading. Chosen one, you've been fashioned in secret to stand bold in storms others flee. You don't need a blueprint, you need obedience. The next step won't look like clarity, it will look like courage. Every unseen yes you've given in private is about to break open a public release. You've been trusted with silence, and now you will be trusted with sound. Not all storms are from the enemy, some are from God making room for your voice. You were not disqualified by your detours, they trained your discernment. The pain you've endured was not wasted, it was prophetic scaffolding. What felt like a breakdown was a divine blueprint in disguise. The unknown has been your womb, not your grave. And what is being birthed now will not be small. You are not called to mimic others, you are called to multiply what heaven implanted in you. You've been waiting for confirmation, but God is waiting for your movement. The unknown is not empty, it's pregnant with promise. This is not a risk, this is a response. The unknown doesn't require you to understand, it requires you to believe. And you, chosen one, are more ready than you feel. You've seen just enough to step. You've heard just enough to obey. You've lost just enough to be free. God is not asking for perfection. He's calling for participation. This path isn't safe, but it is sacred. The wilderness was your proving ground. The unknown is your promised land. You're not wandering, you're walking in prophecy. Even your questions carry weight in the spirit realm. When you speak, things move. When you believe, things shift. When you trust, the impossible bows. Stand up, not with fear, but with holy trembling. The unknown isn't your enemy, it's your inheritance. You've been chosen not because you knew the way, but because you trusted the voice. Now move forward, not with answers, but with authority. Don't wait for all the lights to turn green. Walk like the road will appear under your feet, because it will. What you once feared losing, heaven already planned to replace with something eternal. The unknown feels like darkness, but to God it's the canvas where glory is painted. You've been looking for signs, but he's been forming you into the sign. Others wait for miracles, you walk as one. You are not waiting on breakthrough, you are the breaker. Your life is a prophetic interruption to the ordinary. Don't shrink now, your stretching is part of heaven's design. The unknown is not your obstacle, it's your opening. You were anointed not for comfort, but for conquest. What tried to confine you will now confirm you. Your obedience in the unknown will release others from their fear. This is why the battle intensified. It wasn't personal, it was prophetic. Hell doesn't fight what doesn't threaten it. You are a threat. Your voice carries sound waves that dismantle cycles. Your silence carries authority that stills storms. The enemy hoped you'd give up before the release, but you held on, and heaven noticed. You weren't losing strength, you were gaining weight. Spiritual weight that doesn't show in mirrors, but breaks yokes in atmospheres. You weren't growing weak, you were being fortified. The silence wasn't punishment, it was preservation. You haven't been ignored, you've been incubated. The unknown has not left you stranded, it's left you sealed. Sealed for the right moment, the right mission, the right manifestation. Chosen one, this is not about your timeline, it's about God's eternal timing. You're not being delayed, you're being deployed. Assignment always trumps arrival. When God trusts you with waiting, He's preparing you for weighty things. Some doors don't open by knocking, they open when you become the key. You're not looking for access, you are access. You're not waiting for permission, you've been commissioned. Don't ask who will go with you, you've already been surrounded by the host of heaven. The unknown doesn't mean alone. You've been walking with angels unaware. Your tears have been prayers and your prayers have been prophecies. Nothing you've spoken in surrender has gone unheard. Every whispered yes has created earthquakes in the spirit realm. And now it's time to step into the rumble. You're not entering a battlefield. You're entering a birthing room. Pain has not disqualified you. It has certified you. The unknown doesn't withhold. It reveals. And what's being revealed now is the version of you that never bowed to fear. The version of you that trusted when it made no sense. The version of you that stood even when no one clapped. Heaven has seen you, and it's releasing recompense. Recompense not just for what was taken, but for what was sown in silence. You haven't just survived, you've stewarded mystery. You're not empty-handed, you are armed with unseen power. You didn't miss your moment, it was just moved into the unknown. And now it's here. Do not hesitate. Do not look back. What's coming doesn't resemble what you've walked through. This is a new terrain, and your feet have already been anointed to tread it. This is why you were set apart, not to be hidden forever, but to be revealed in glory. This is why the waiting was long, because the weight is heavy. This is why you felt lost, because you were being led somewhere unprecedented. You are not repeating cycles, you are breaking them. You are not revisiting pain, you are redeeming it. The unknown is no longer a mystery, it is now your ministry. You've been asking when, but heaven has been declaring now. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now. Not when it feels safe, but when it feels sacred. You were not called to a life of comfort, but to a legacy of courage. The unknown isn't your punishment, it's your platform. You don't have to know every step, you just need to take the next one. The ground you're afraid to step on is already promised. What feels unfamiliar to your flesh is already confirmed in the spirit. The people you've lost were never your source, they were scaffolding. And God removes scaffolding when the structure can stand on its own. You are standing now, not in confidence but in covenant, not in control but in calling. And the unknown no longer terrifies you, it invites you. Because you've tasted obedience, and it has become your appetite. You've danced with fear, and still chosen faith. You've sat in confusion and still chosen praise. You've wept in silence and still chosen surrender. That's what qualifies you. Not your certainty, but your surrender. Not your plan, but your posture. You've been positioned not by your effort, but by your endurance. And now the shift is visible. Everything you felt was breaking you has been building you. You were not buried, you were planted, and the fruit is about to speak for itself. There's a wind coming that doesn't carry noise, it carries names. Yours is one of them. Not for fame, but for fulfillment. Not to be seen, but to be sent. You don't need applause to be affirmed. You need anointing, and you have it. Not just a touch, but a mantle. Not just a feeling, but a fire. The fire is not for burning you out, it's for lighting the path ahead. You've been entrusted with flame, not just to carry, but to ignite. Others will find their faith because you embraced your fog. Others will find their voice because you walked through silence. You are a pioneer. and pioneers are always misunderstood at first. But the trail you blaze now will be the road others find later. You don't need approval, you need obedience. And obedience is never wasted. Even when it looks foolish, it's fertile. Even when it looks barren, it's birthing. The unknown has never been empty. It's always been pregnant. And now it's time to push. Not with fear, but with faith. Not with striving, but with surrender. Because what's about to emerge will not be man-made. It will be unmistakably divine. Chosen one. Don't doubt the ache. It's alignment. Don't dismiss the delay. It's divine. Don't fear the fog. It's favor. Everything in your story has been recalibrated for glory. There is no wasted wilderness. No detour is beyond redemption. The voice of God has never stopped speaking. It's just been waiting for you to listen differently. Now is the moment. Not to retreat, but to rise. Not to wonder, but to walk. The unknown is no longer a threat, it's a summons. And you are ready to answer, because you've been prepared in secret, and heaven always rewards what's done in secret. Step forward now, not with fear, but with fire. Pause for a moment, like this video and hit subscribe. Then drop 55 in the comments so I know you're here. You are not stepping into chaos, you are stepping into convergence. Everything is aligning now, not around your comfort but around your calling. The winds of uncertainty are not blowing you off course, they are carrying you to the center of your assignment. There is no safer place to stand than in the will of God, even when that place looks like the unknown. What others flee from, you are being sent into. What others avoid, you have been equipped to confront. The unfamiliar is not unfamiliar to your spirit. It remembers what heaven declared over you. The voice you heard in the dark is still leading in the daylight. You were not mistaken, you were marked. This is not the season to shrink back. It's the season to stretch forward. Not in striving, but in surrender. Not in force, but in faith. What feels fragile is actually fertile. You are walking into the soil of promise. You are stepping where others only dreamed. The unknown is not void of power. It's vibrating with it. It's time to speak what you've been afraid to say. It's time to believe what you've been afraid to hope. It's time to step where you've been afraid to tread. Because you are not alone in this journey. You are surrounded, sealed, and sent. The oil on your life did not evaporate in the waiting. It matured. You've been distilled into power, refined into purpose, purified into clarity. The fire did not destroy you. It defined you. The storm did not steal from you. It positioned you. Everything is being recalibrated around your yes. The alignment has begun. The shift is active. The momentum is not coming. It's already moving beneath your feet. It's not time to stall. It's time to step. You were chosen for this moment before the foundations of the world. This isn't random, it's written. This isn't optional, it's ordained. Your alignment is the key to another's awakening. Your obedience is the answer to another's prayer. You're not just stepping into your future, you're unlocking someone else's. There's a ripple coming from your movement. Heaven has waited for this moment. The earth has groaned for your arrival. And now creation will witness your unveiling, not for display, but for destiny. Not for glory, but for governance. You carry weight, chosen one. You carry sound. You carry presence. Not because of effort, but because of encounter. The unknown no longer defines you, your revelation does. You are not walking in theory, you are walking in truth. And that truth sets atmospheres free. Your very steps are declarations. Your silence speaks volumes. Your presence is prophecy. You are not intimidated by what's ahead. You are in sync with it. You've been prepared for what others can't perceive. You've been trained in realms they haven't touched. That's why you don't need to explain, you just need to obey. Let the fruit speak. Let the fire prove you. Let the fog part, because you walked into it with faith. The unknown cannot resist a chosen one walking in clarity. And you have clarity, even if the details are still unfolding. Your clarity isn't in the map, it's in the mandate. The assignment doesn't require approval, it requires alignment. And you are aligned. The tension you've felt is not a warning, it's a confirmation. God doesn't give tension without purpose. He gives it to stretch capacity. What's pressing you now is only revealing what's always been inside you. You're not being crushed. You're being commissioned. Every unanswered prayer was an unveiling of God's higher wisdom. The no you heard wasn't rejection. It was redirection to something holy. This is not about what you lost. It's about what you're stepping into. You've been graced for this unknown. You've been armored with glory others can't see but heaven reveres. Every scar is sacred, not shameful. Every bruise holds breakthrough. You don't need the comfort of the familiar. You need the fire of the Father. He's not just calling you to something new. He's calling you into himself. This is not a promotion of platform. It's a promotion of presence. You're about to know God in a way only wilderness produces. You're about to walk in a power only pressure unlocks. The dark has not been your enemy, it's been your envelope. You are heaven's letter, sealed in the unknown, about to be read by nations. Your life is not a story in progress. It's a scroll being unrolled. And the next chapter begins with this. You stepped anyway. Not because it was easy, but because it was ordained. Not because you felt ready, but because He was ready through you. You were never called to navigate the unknown alone. You've been led by whispers, held by unseen hands, and surrounded by strategy. Every sigh has become sacred incense. Every pause has been holy. You are not weak for hesitating. You are wise for listening. But now it's time to move, to step where logic trembles and trust reigns, to walk where sight fails and faith flourishes. This isn't reckless, it's righteous. This isn't risky, it's revelatory. The unknown has never held dominion over you. You were born to reign over it. Dominion begins not with domination, but with devotion. And your devotion has made you dangerous to darkness. You're not coming with empty hands. You're coming with history. And heaven honors history. Your secret place has authored public authority. You don't need to force open doors. They recognize your voice. When you knock now, it's not in fear, it's in fullness. And the doors that matter will swing wide without resistance, because heaven knows your name, not just your needs. The oil on your life is not leaking. It's increasing. You are not being drained. You are being distilled. This is not depletion. It's concentration. What's left after the fire is what God intends to multiply. And it's more than enough. Chosen one, you are not stepping into something new. You're stepping into something ancient, something eternal, something sealed in God's heart before your breath ever began. The unknown is not foreign territory, it's holy ground, and you are barefoot, burning, and beloved. Heaven does not see you as one who doubts, it sees you as one who dares. Because to stand here in this fog and still say yes, that's what changes nations. You may not see the fruit yet, but the soil is groaning under your feet. The roots are deeper than the silence lets on. And the harvest is not someday, it's suddenly. Suddenly, everything will shift. Suddenly, what didn't make sense will make legacy. Suddenly, the unknown will bow to the known God you carry. Suddenly, heaven will echo what earth only whispered, and it will begin because you stepped anyway. You didn't need full sight to step, you just needed full surrender. And that surrender is the sound hell dreads and heaven celebrates. You are not entering into confusion, you are stepping into commissioning. The fog you feel is not chaos, it's cloud cover for your consecration. You've been set apart in secret, but heaven is about to make it public. This next season isn't about being seen, it's about being sent. Sent with oil, sent with weight, sent with word. You're not walking in theory, you're walking in fire-tested truth. Every doubt you laid at the altar became a stepping stone. Every I don't know how became I know who. And that knowledge is now your compass in the unknown. God hasn't changed the path. He's changed your posture. You don't flinch anymore, you flow. You don't stall anymore, you stand. You don't beg anymore, you believe. This is not arrogance, it's alignment. When you know whose you are, the unknown loses its sting. You weren't meant to live by plans. You were meant to live by prophecy. And prophecy isn't a prediction, it's a pathway. You're walking in fulfillment now. Even if your eyes can't see it yet, your spirit already knows the direction. Faith is not your fallback, it's your foundation, and your footsteps are echoing through dimensions. Angels have already gone ahead to clear what your faith will confront. You're not following signs, you're becoming one. That's why the warfare's been so targeted. Hell doesn't waste bullets on the harmless. But it failed, because here you are standing in the mist with fire in your bones. You carry the flame that won't be extinguished, not because of your strength, but because of his seal. This is covenant courage. You've wept and still walked. You've doubted and still dared. You've lost and still leaned into grace. And heaven calls that faith, not flawless faith, but fighting faith. That's the kind that births nations and dismantles systems, and that's the kind you carry. Chosen one, your next step is not based on security. It's based on surrender. And surrender always precedes supernatural. You're not launching into mystery, you're leaping into mandate. You don't need to rehearse anymore, you're ready. Not because it feels easy, but because it's eternal. The unknown ahead is actually the assignment within. You've been walking toward what's already rising inside you. You've become the very thing you've been waiting for. You are the sign. You are the shift. You are the signal to heaven's timeline. And now the earth must respond. Mountains will move, not because you shout, but because you show up. Valleys will rise, not because you demand, but because you dwell. Darkness will flee, not because you argue, but because you carry light. Light doesn't negotiate, it just shines. And you were born for this brilliance. The unknown isn't just territory, it's testimony. You will say, I didn't know what was next, but I knew God. And that was enough. Because the God you knew in silence is the God who now speaks in sudden lies. The one who walked you through shadows will now light up the stage. And your arrival isn't performance, it's prophecy. You are not late, you are launched. And the sound of your obedience will shake foundations. The foundations are not trembling in fear, they're making room for your feet. What once felt like resistance is now response. Creation yielding to your commission. You didn't ask to be the sign, but you surrendered and heaven sealed it. You've become a bridge between what was promised and what's about to appear. And that bridge is not theory. It's a life, your life, built on obedience. Every silent season was heaven pouring concrete. Every delay was a steel beam forged in trust. The weight you've carried wasn't proof of failure, it was evidence of function. You were made to hold more. And now the stretch will make sense. You're not cracking under pressure, you're being carved by it. Pressure does not mean breakdown, it means purpose has met time. You are not overwhelmed, you are overflowing. With truth, with trust, with tenacity. The same tenacity that pulled you out of past pits will now push you into prophetic places. Because what you carry isn't casual, it's catalytic. It changes rooms, it redefines silence, it interrupts stagnation. This is why you couldn't shake the tension. This is why you couldn't go back. Because forward is not just a direction, it's your DNA. The unknown was never meant to trap you, it was meant to unveil you. And now you see it, not with fear, but with fire in your eyes. You've stared into the fog and found your Father. And that changes everything. You're not stepping blindly, you're stepping boldly. Not with all the answers, but with all the anointing. And anointing makes a way where logic stops. The same anointing that rested on Joseph in the pit now rests on you. The same oil that called Esther from obscurity is dripping down your shoulders. Because this generation doesn't need more perfection, it needs prophetic presence. And you are that presence. God's strategy has always involved a surrendered one. The world may have overlooked you, but heaven always knew your coordinates. You were never lost, you were hidden. And now heaven says, reveal. Not for applause, but for alignment. Not for status, but for strategy. You are heaven's strategy wrapped in skin. A living intercession, a walking blueprint, a sacred yes turned tangible. Don't diminish what's dawning just because it didn't come with fanfare. Glory rarely announces itself with noise. It reveals itself with movement, and your movement has begun. No more hesitation, no more apology, no more second guessing. The mantle you wear was never meant to blend, it was meant to blaze, and blaze it will. You've been faithful in famine, now watch the feast. You've wept in shadows, now walk in shine. The glow on you isn't aesthetic, it's assignment. It's heaven testifying, this one belongs to me. And that belonging is what breaks chains. Because when you know who sent you, you no longer need to explain who you are. The fruit will speak. The fire will mark. The fog will part. Pause right now. Like this video and hit subscribe. Then drop 55 in the comments so I know you're walking with Heaven's code. The number isn't magic, it's agreement. Agreement that you're aligned. The agreement that you're moving. Agreement that the unknown is no longer your fear, it's your field. You're not going to make it, you're going to manifest it. The promise, the power, the prophetic pulse of heaven beating in your chest, and every beat echoes now. Not when the resources appear, but now. Not when everyone understands, but now. Not when it makes sense, but when it makes glory. Because what you carry is too weighty to wait. You were not given this fire to store it. You were called to spread it, so open your mouth, open your heart, open your hands. The unknown is no longer a wilderness, it's your window, and it's wide open. Breathe, chosen one. You've been holding your breath for too long, waiting for the green light, waiting for the confirmation, waiting for the applause. But the breath of God in you is the yes you've been waiting for. It's already in motion. The tide has turned. The seals have broken. And you who once watched are now being watched, not by spectators but by witnesses. Witnesses to what glory looks like in skin. Witnesses to what obedience sounds like in motion. Witnesses to what trust does when it doesn't make sense. You're not performing. You're prophesying with your steps. The unknown is now your invitation, signed by the Spirit, sealed with oil, and sent by fire. You carry heaven's rhythm now. You walk with the authority of one who has endured. And that endurance isn't wasted, it's a weapon. Every unanswered question now bows to one truth. You are sent. Sent into the unfamiliar to do the undeniable. Sent into darkness not to survive, but to reveal. The light you carry is not flickering, it's a furnace. And that furnace is fed by every yes you gave when no one was looking. Every tear is now oil, every ache is now access, every silence is now sound, and the sound is rising. Not as noise, but as narrative. The narrative of the called, the story of the sealed, the scroll of the surrendered, and you are living proof. The unknown didn't erase you, it exposed you to heaven's power. The mystery didn't mute you, it matured you. You're not stepping in afraid, you're stepping in awakened. You're not walking with questions, you're walking with command. You've heard the voice, you've felt the fire, and now it's time to walk into the wind. Chosen one, the wind has shifted, and you are no longer waiting on the weather. You are the storm heaven sent to bring divine disruption. What once looked like uncertainty is now unfolding as unstoppable purpose. You've walked through silence, but now you speak with sound only angels understand. Every step forward is not just movement, it's manifestation. You are not behind schedule, you are beyond calculation. The fire you carry was not given for show, it was given for shift, and the shift is happening now. Others may still be wondering, but you are already walking. This is not the end of your preparation, it's the beginning of your demonstration. Every yes was heard, every prayer was planted, every tear was traded for territory. You have not missed your moment. You were the moment being prepared. Now, release fear. Release the pressure to explain. Release the need to be understood. You are not here for explanation. You are here for execution. Execute the call. Execute the courage. Execute the command you heard in the dark. Because God's voice does not echo in vain. The unknown didn't scatter your path. It solidified your pace. You don't need to see all the steps. Just take the next one. The next step is your agreement with glory. And glory will answer with more than enough. Your provision will match your pace. Your miracles will match your movement. And your legacy will match your loyalty. So walk, chosen one. Like this video, subscribe, and comment 55 if you know this word was yours. Then lift your head, steady your soul, and step, because what's ahead is holy. Chosen one, now that you've stepped into the unknown, the question becomes, how will you walk through it? The path ahead is not paved with certainty, it's layered with trust. And trust is not a feeling, it's a decision made again and again even when nothing looks secure. This is where many turn back, not because the path closed, but because the pressure asked too much. But you are not like the many. You are the one who walks when others wait, the one who hears a whisper and moves like it was thunder, the one who dares to keep going even when no one else understands. The unknown ahead will not ask for your plans, it will ask for your persistence. God is not testing your talent, He's proving your trust. And that trust must now become muscle. Think of an athlete training for a marathon. Day by day, mile by mile, they build what they cannot fake. You too are in spiritual training. And each act of obedience is another lap in the Spirit. Every yes when you're tired. Every prayer when you're unsure. Every act of generosity when you feel empty. This is not religion. This is revelation becoming rhythm. You're not just walking into the unknown. You're walking into the rhythm of God. A rhythm that moves to trust, not timelines. A rhythm that flows like a river carving canyons, not fast, but unstoppable. That's what you are now. Not a flash of fire, but a river of resolve. And rivers don't ask for permission, they find a way. You will find your way in the unknown not because it's clear, but because you're consistent. You are not called to understand every bend. You are called to keep flowing. Flowing when it's slow. Flowing when it's silent. Flowing when it seems dry. Even dry seasons carry momentum when you walk by revelation. Practical obedience is your oar. When you budget what little you have in faith, that's flow. When you forgive without an apology, that's flow. When you say yes to an assignment that scares you, that's flow. You're not called to impress, you're called to align. And alignment means practical faith, not just poetic declarations. It means getting up when you'd rather stay down. It means building even when no one else sees it. Like Noah, who built the ark under blue skies. He trusted a rain he'd never seen because he trusted the voice he knew. That's your blueprint now. You're building something that doesn't make sense yet, but it will make history later. Others won't understand your urgency, your isolation, your intensity. That's because they weren't in the room when God gave the blueprints, but you were. And what you saw can't be unseen. You may not be able to describe it fully, but you can't deny it either. That's because you carry it now, not just a vision, but a responsibility. You're not just dreaming, you're stewarding. And what you steward in silence will be rewarded in sound. Heaven always honors hidden obedience. Don't measure your impact by applause. Measure it by alignment. Don't gauge your obedience by results. Gauge it by response. You responded to God, and that was enough. That is enough. Your daily discipline is not small, it's seismic. In the kingdom, small faith moves massive mountains, and your mountains are already trembling, because heaven doesn't need perfect people, it needs present ones. And you showed up. Again and again you showed up. In pain you showed up, in silence you showed up, in loss you showed up. That's faith, that's fruit. That's how you walk the unknown and see miracles unfold like morning light. Not all at once, but surely goodness and mercy will follow you. Not because you chased them, but because you stayed the course. The unknown is now your altar, and every step is your offering. You are not just walking into destiny, you are becoming it. Like a river carving through rock, you are shaping a legacy that will outlive your pain. Let them call you radical, Noah was too. Let them call you extreme, Esther was too. Let them call you strange. Jesus was misunderstood by everyone but heaven, and heaven sees you now. Heaven is resounding with the echo of your obedience. Angels are dispatched not to spectators, but to sent ones. And you, chosen one, are being sent with sacred force. A force not rooted in hype, but in holy surrender. Now breathe. Let the pressure roll off. Let the need for clarity bow to the clarity of the cross. You are not walking toward the unknown, you're walking with the known one. He is not absent in this fog, he is forming you in it. The fog is not failure, it's formation. Receive this now, you have not missed it. You are not too late, you are not too far gone. You are exactly where the timeline touches the throne. Time bends for obedience, and obedience always creates access. Doors that were sealed for decades will swing open in seconds, not because you forced them, but because you flowed. You didn't strive, you surrendered. And that surrender is your signature in the Spirit. So here's the final call. Lift your head, square your shoulders, place your feet firm on the soil of the unseen. and walk. Walk like you've already won, because in the Spirit you have. Walk like heaven is watching, because it is. Walk like your steps are prophetic, and they are. The fog is lifting, the ground is opening, and the time is now. Like this video, subscribe to this move, comment 55 so I know you're carrying covenant. But more than that, rise. Because your rising is not for you alone. It's for those behind you. It's for those watching you. It's for those who've given up on hearing God but will find him through your walk. You are not just crossing a line, you are drawing one. Drawing a line in the sand that says, "Here I stand." No turning back, no shrinking down, no apologizing for favor. You are chosen, you are prepared, you are positioned, and the unknown is now under your feet. Step boldly, speak freely, walk faithfully. The veil has lifted, and it's your time.